Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. And I don't know if you all know, I've probably mentioned it before, but I am a huge Legend of Zelda fan. Um, and one of my first Zelda games that I ever played completely on my own was Phantom Hourglass on the DS. I definitely played some before with my parents, and I watched my cousin play Ocarina of Time on the 64. Um, my This is kind of off topic, but like my most vivid memory of that is I'm sitting watching them play while because my mom used to babysit my cousins and like my best friend, and so they're sitting on we had like special gaming chairs is what we called them. They were these really cheap like foldable cushy pink chairs, and they're sitting in that, and they had just entered um Castletown. Is that, I don't know, it's been forever since I played Ocarina of Time. They just entered Castletown in the adult timeline, and there's free deads everywhere. And they're just screaming, zombies, zombies, as they sprint through Castletown to the Temple of Time. No, it wasn't the first time. This was them re entering it later. But I just remember sitting on the couch thinking, ah, yes, this is what I want to do. I want to play video games. And it was quite a formative experience. And my other cousin, not 10 seconds later, comes out of my room and is like, hey, you were supposed to be going and getting us snacks. Like, stop getting distracted by the video game and just get the chips and come back to the room. But yeah, that was like my most formative memory I have is of them screaming zombies at Ocarina of Time. So Zelda holds a very near and dear place in my heart. So when I first got a hold of Phantom Hourglass and was playing it completely on my own, I just fell in love with the style and just it's a good game. Now, mind you, I have not gone back and started a new game. I had picked up the game that I finished and was doing like side quests in it and everything, but at that point I already had all the items and like let's be real here. Once you get all the items in a Zelda game, it gets kind of I don't want to say easy, but it's a lot easier. Um, so I went back and did that more recently. But anyways, I have just gotten really distracted. Let me tell you what we're going to be doing today. So, inspired by Phantom Hourglass, I decided I wanted to try and recreate something that happens inside of the Ocean King's temple. And for those of you who don't play it, the Ocean King's Temple is this reoccurring temple that you keep coming back to and getting deeper and deeper every time you go through it. And it works, there are these safe zones, these purple glowing tiles that you can step on. And the enemies that, even if they've seen you, as soon as you step on those tiles, you become completely invisible. Like, they will not bother you at all. And I just thought that was really cool. And believe it or not, this is actually one of the first things I tried to accomplish after I really started getting into this channel. And it has taken me this long to figure it out. So without any further rambling, let's dive in. All right, so here we have our temple. So let's get this rolling. Alright, so I'm on the glowy purple square, like, can't see me. There's the monster walking around. Oh no, they saw me. Oh no, it's glitched. Big surprise. So there we go. Okay, it's working now. So, I don't know if this is from Spirit Tracks or Phantom Hourglass, but when the enemies would chill out and wouldn't be like on attack mode anymore, they would teleport back to their original positions, which is what I have happening here. I have them set to really slow because I didn't actually want it to be a challenge, but now I'm realizing that making this go really slow. But anyways, let's dive into the event. So the first thing we have is our regions. Okay, originally, I was trying to make this too big, take on way too much at once, and it just wasn't working. So that is why the regions go all the way around, even though the monster does not. He just goes boop and boop. So the only ones that are really important is 10, 3, and 4, and 1 and 2. All right, so what happens is this actually, let's first look at this guy. So we have our monster. He has like 4 different versions. The reason each of these is different, I set them up like this so it is easy to tell if the event's working. So this is safe mode. So it's when the enemy has not seen you. This is where it starts. It just only starts here. But anyways, this is safe mode. He's just wandering around. He cannot see you. Everything is hunky-dory. This is aggro mode. This is when they've seen you and they are hunting you down. These guys are kind of remnants of my first attempt, so they're not really that important, so we can ignore them. But it's really aggro and safe that are important. And the difference here is this guy's on the route I showed you that's just boop and boop. And then this guy is set to approach the player at a normal speed. If you wanted to make it harder, you would make them faster. But what happens is if they catch the player, here, let me show you. I save after everything because I've been burnt on that before. Okay, exclamation. You saw nothing. Nothing. So I moved these around to help organize stuff, so it was sending it to the wrong location. But anyways, what was supposed to happen is it would send the player back to the beginning of the map. You could have it set to the beginning of the temple, to the beginning of that map, to the nearest safe zone, just it's up to your personal preference, but I have them sent back to the beginning of the map when they are caught. And then it just turns safe on, aggro off, which just does this. This guy is what happens when they're angry. All good. Figured out who it was. Nothing to be alarmed about, except for the fact that it was midnight and I heard a door slam. Anyways, where was I? I'm completely distracted now. Okay, this is to tell if aggro is going to start. So it's continuously is getting the region ID for both the player and the enemy, which this I have it with the region ID of designation by character, and then I named the enemy foe. So it's that you would have to change this for each map and for each. If you had a map with multiple enemies, you'd have to have different events for each of them. So what I would recommend if you were doing that is just underscore and then name, like if they're all the same, this would be foe 1 and so on and so forth. And then if they both equal the same thing, which is conditional branch variable, region ID equals foe ID, then it turns the switch aggro on. And then if aggro is on, nothing is happening in this event. This is what happens to turn safe on. So first it gets, if the region ID of the player equals 1, so this one right here, it turns safe on. If it equals 2, it also turns safe on, but aggro is also on. Then it turns it off and returns the enemy back to where it started and turns that off. Otherwise, it just continuously loops. So originally it was a lot more complex, and I was trying to make it way more complex than it needed to be, but see, they're chasing me now, and light pillar appears, and it transports them back to where they begin. So let's let them get a little farther away. I didn't let them get far enough away, evidently. Here, okay. There we go. See? They can't see me because we're not in the same region ID. We're good. But now they enter the same region ID, they see me, they get aggro, they try and attack, and I return to a safe zone. Now let me let them get far enough away. And then I return to a safe zone, and they don't teleport back here because I didn't aggro them, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, this is basically the best way to do sightlines in RPG Maker, is to just, if you're in the same region restriction, that does mean that if they are facing away from you and you're close enough to them, it will sense you and it will try and zero in on you. In order to avoid this, you would need a plugin. Just point blank, you would need a plugin. There is, unless you have a stationary enemy, if you have an enemy that moves about, there is no other way to do it unless you had a plugin or no coding. Feel free to prove me wrong, but I've tried. I've tried so many different ways. But yeah, that is pretty much all there is to this event. You can, one more thing. Maybe. Let's see, let's aggro them. They are slower than molasses. And it is set to the AI approach, which isn't the smartest. As you can see, it's now moving away from me. So you would definitely want it on a faster speed. But yeah. We're just gonna, come on, just a little closer. That's a good monster. You can do it. Just up. Okay. And now it teleports them back to the beginning. So yeah. You would definitely want to increase the movement speed, which you just do here. I'm going to get caught immediately on this speed. Right. Yeah. As I said, caught immediately. There's just something to play around with. And you might want to have ones that will literally catch you immediately, because this is like a stealth area and you have to like sneak around stuff. That is everything for this video. I hope you all enjoyed and found it helpful, and I hope to see you all in the next video. Bye!